Hello, this is Gabby Summers reporting from behind the Cutler apartment complex at UAF. My dates of observation were the 27th through the 29th of January and the 2nd of February. All but one day was at about 11 a.m. and the last day was a little later at about 3 p.m. My National Weather Service data location was at the Fairbanks International Airport. Here are my measurements and observations from my week of weather last week for Unit 3. Here we see it again so we can compare it with the National Weather Service and their observations. So just to kind of refresh you and go over this again. On the 27th at about 11 a.m., the left and right thermometer sensors read 13.7 and 13.6 degrees Fahrenheit respectively, along with a barometric pressure of 1013 millibars. On the 28th, the left and right sensors read 6.5 and 6.6 degrees Fahrenheit with a pressure of 1010 millibars. On the 29th, it read at 13.8 and 13.6 degrees Fahrenheit with a pressure of 1016 millibars. On the 30th of January, it read a lot colder at 1.7 and 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit with a pressure of 1019 millibars. Then on that last day, after skipping a couple of days, on the 2nd of February, the temperature read at 17 and 16.7 degrees with a barometric pressure at 1033 millibars. And here we have a quick summary of cloud cover and precipitation for the week. The whole week was quite clear, showing at either 0 or 25% cloud cover, and when there were clouds, they were cirrus, and for the whole week it was the same for the Beaufort scale and precipitation in the fact that every day I registered a 0 on the Beaufort scale and absolutely no precipitation. And here we have the temperature graph with both my and the National Weather Service observations. It didn't follow as closely as I wanted, but I also need to factor in the fact that my thermometer malfunctioned last week, and I also had 2 days in between my 4th and 5th days of observations. That being said, you can still see that it stays pretty well with the National Weather Service's observations. Right here with the station thermometer left and right. Follows it pretty closely aside from that second day, which dips a little bit low. The blue station min was also pretty similar. Pretty similar in the fact that it followed pretty closely. So all in all, I can't complain. I would have wanted it to be a little bit more accurate, but with a malfunctioning thermometer, I'm happy with how it turned out. Here, the two barometric pressure observations are posted. These stay together almost perfectly. It was a real confidence booster that it seems like I've been doing the right things and I'm finally seeming to get it and that things are coming together. So as you can see, they both have similar valleys and hills and they both follow the same trends. Although my observations started on January 27th, there was no map available for it, so I am starting with the 28th and going through the 29th, 30th, and 2nd of February. Before we start though, here's the chart that the National Weather Service provided and that I turned back to a lot. Here we start on January 28th, 2014, and before we get started, I want to start out with saying this green dot right here denotes the general location of Fairbanks. So here we see 3 low pressure systems and 2 high pressure systems with barometric pressures ranging from here at 970 millibars to 1025 millibars a lot further east. We've also got some fog and rain here and there. On this day we had a small cold front right here, and then this purple one is the occluded front, and here we have a long stationary front. Moving on to January 29th, we have more occluded here on the purple and more stationary fronts, and 3 low pressure systems and 3 high pressure systems here. We're also starting to see a little bit more fog along with some freezing rain along with normal rain a lot further south, and 1 occurrence of snow. And on January 30th, we see 3 low pressure systems. That low pressure is almost out of the picture. Oh, there's a 4th one. Almost missed that one. There's 4 low pressure systems and 3 high pressure systems, with the barometric pressure ranging from 982 millibars to a high of 1030 millibars. Also, we're getting some pretty dense fog close to us and some freezing rain a little bit southeast of us, along with some fog pretty widely spread around the state, and again some rain here down south. On February 2nd, we have only 1 low pressure system and 3 high pressure systems all over here, and based on the images in previous slides, it seems that these fronts are all moving north. So there is a lot more occurrence of snow around in and mostly around the state, and the low pressure is high compared to recent slides, ranging from 1025 millibars to over here to 1046 millibars near this high pressure system in Canada. We're also starting to see a lot more snow and snow showers, mostly around the state though, nothing really within the main part of Alaska. We find 1 stationary front over here going over Russia, and it is looking pretty clear on the 2nd of February in Fairbanks. So, for the 29th, I am going back a couple of days, and here are images of 3 different types of weather images that helped me with my observations later on. The visible image, the water vapor, and the infrared thermal image. And I looked back at these to see whether or not my observations follow these and are correct or not. And it turned out that the visible image did mirror my observations as to how I observed 0% cloud cover on the 29th. In the infrared thermal image, it also is pretty close to my observations when I stated that it wasn't too cold and still pretty clear. Again, on the water vapor, it was, according to my observations, dry, no precipitation, and so the little bit darker color denotes more dry, which correctly reflects my findings for that day as well. Overall, it has been an unseasonably warm January. It's not uncommon still to have days at -40, not where it is above 0 degrees Fahrenheit and even close to freezing. It seems like we are switching with the lower 48 this year. Now they get to know what it's like every winter up here. For example, Wyoming was at -22 degrees Fahrenheit with wind chill last week. For once, I'm okay with being here and not there weather-wise. Also, although it does not pertain to last week's data, the aurora has been absolutely beautiful and quite active recently. This is a picture my friend took with a phone camera, so it's not the highest quality, but you can tell that there are different tones in the aurora, which is a first for me. I have not seen different colors yet in my 3 years here. Maybe I've just been unlucky, but that's what I've experienced so far. And here it's a lot harder to see, and I don't blame you if you can't see it, but this was at about 11:15 this morning, and there was a beautiful halo around the sun along with a couple of sundogs. This was the start of the halo. It's a little bit brighter there, but again, it was also taken with a phone camera, so it wasn't the highest quality picture, so I don't blame you if you can't see it. So, that is it for weather observations and comparisons this week. I hope you enjoyed it.